thus deal with Yahweh, they have corrupted themselves. They are not his children because of their blemish, a perverse and crooked generation. Do you thus deal with Yahweh, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your father who brought you? Has he not made you and established you? But Jeshurun grew fat and kicked. You grew fat. You grew thick. You are obese. Then he forsook Elohim who made him and scornfully esteemed the rock of his salvation. And when Yahweh saw it, he spurned them because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end will be. For they are a perverse generation, children in whom is no faith. They have provoked me to jealousy by what is not Elohim. They have moved me to anger by their foolish idols. But I will provoke them to jealousy by those who are not a nation. I will move them to anger by a foolish nation. I will heap disasters upon them. I will spin my arrows on them. They will be wasted with hunger, devoured by pestilence, and bitter destruction. I will also send against them the teeth of beasts, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword will destroy them outside. There will be terror within. For the young man and virgin, nursing child with the man of gray hairs. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How could one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight unless their rock had sold them and Yahweh had surrendered them? For their rock is not like our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. And their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of serpents and the cruel venom of cobras. Vengeance is mine, and recompense. Their foot will slip in due time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things to come hasten upon them. For Yahweh will judge his people and have compassion on his servants when he sees that their power is gone and there is no one remaining, bond or free. Rejoice, O Gentiles, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants and render vengeance to his adversaries. He will provide atonement for his land and his people. Shalom, shalom. Yes, right, y'all. This is Yahonathan Dawit with you here, Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com, 443-306-3518. That is the Song of Moses, edited. If you want to read the whole thing, find it in a book called the Bible. I'm not going to tell you where it is. If it matters to you, if it is important, then you will search it out like you find out what time your team is playing. If you read the Song of Moses and read it, you will understand what Yehonathan Dawid with you is saying every Sunday and is trying to get across to you. You will buy in to what I'm trying to give you freely. And that is that we are where we are right now because of what we have done to our Most High Creator. And as such, He has hid His face from us until we are in total destruction. We will have to depend on Him. Because when we had Him, we grew fat, and the book says obese. We denied Him, He hid His face. Now we are a valley of dry bones, Ezekiel tells us. Ezekiel 36, I believe it is. And the only way out will be through him. And the conditions are so bad that when we come out of it, and we will, that we will know who he is. Because no one can bring us out of this but him. That is like a quick, short blurb of all of this work of mine is for you, for Yisrael, whom I love. Not talking about hating anybody or anything, about loving yourself and acknowledging why you are where you are. But what are we doing? What, Friday? Our latest saviors was Hogan, Young, and Harrison. Those are your latest saviors from heaven. Come down on angels' wings to save us. Friday they met at Schaefer's Towers, and as bad as our conditions are, they got together for 1 hour. That's all they needed to ameliorate Baltimore's sorry conditions. A whole hour. It probably takes longer than that to get from Annapolis to Schaefer's Towers in bad traffic, but they was able to fix us in 1 hour. Hallelujah. Problems are solved. They want to discuss the crime, Baltimore's legendary crime. Fighting how to fight crime. We have a surge in gun violence. On the table from Young and Harrison was they want more state police officers deployed. They want more parole and probation staff. $7 million to upgrade the technology. You know, that would solve our problems, right? More probation officers to get your fathers and sons through the system better and faster. That's what you need, right? You need more probation officers to process your sons and fathers. In 2019, we're not even finished August yet, we've had over 700 people in Baltimore shot. So we're getting like 2.5 per day shot in Baltimore City. So today, on Sunday, which you call the Lord's Day, 2 to 3 people will be shot. And Jack Young says that crime suppression, he wants crime suppression. He wants more traffic stops for crime suppression. More traffic stops. That's going to really suppress crime. I had one of those done on me a couple weeks ago. And the officer said I made a right turn at a stop sign, and I was guilty. I did not completely stop. She rolled up on me as if I was just running away from a mass shooting or something. And then asked me if I'm all right. Am I stable? She asked me, was I stable? I'm on camera, and I'm being recorded. Are you okay? Are you stable? Do you and so this is one of the tactics that the police are using today. They will go ahead and, because they know they're on camera, they will put it out there that the person that they're about to murder or do whatever they're getting ready to do is having a problem. They'll say, stop resisting when the person's not resisting. They'll make accusations because they know they're being recorded and it's on camera. So when they go to court, or if there's any litigation going against it, it'll be on record that this is how they felt. This is how they perceived you. Here I am, a man who's never had handcuffs on his wrists. I've even fought officers to get handcuffs off of people's wrists back when I was an activist. And if everyone was like me, there'll be no need for police officers. And I have even worked in a psych facility for 12 years. She's gonna come ask me, am I okay? Am I stable? And putting her hand on a gun, because I did break the law, and I ran around. I didn't completely stop on the stop sign. And the intervention for that did not meet the crime. But Jack Young says he wants more of that. He said that's going to suppress crime. More traffic stops is going to suppress crime. Remember, when you come before someone asking for something, you have already subjected yourself to that person because they have the authority power to give you what you're asking for. So here's what Young and Harrison wants. They want more staffing at central booking and juvenile booking. So we gotta make sure we process our sons and fathers and uncles and nephews. We gotta process them quick and better. This is better servicing Baltimore. They want state reimbursement for overtime, and so we run out of money for paying for officers who are on vacation, on your tax dollars, who are on cruise ships, who are out of state, who are flying and having fun and getting paid overtime. We want more state money to pay that. That's what they want. And they want $2.4 million to relocate the police academy. So you want to move from Mediterranean to Park Place. Okay, you want to move. So you need $2.4 million. Well, no one paid me no money to move. I had to pay my own self to move. And they want $1.5 million for, I guess, some kind of technological upgrades or whatever. More. Crying with your mouth open on your knees. That's not a good position to be in, one man to another. Hands up. Because the problem is you don't have more money to keep doing what you're doing. That's the problem. None of those address why the problem is on the table. You getting more money for technological upgrades does not address why you are tracking down criminals. You getting more money for parole and probation officers not addressing why you need more officers. Stopping me for running a stop sign is not addressing why 700 plus people have been shot in Baltimore, and we got, what, 4 more months to go? Hogan says, oh, well, let me another quote from Jack Young. Upgrade the police department. That's how you drive down crime. Go where the crime is to reduce crime. I bet if you go where the crime is to reduce crime, I bet you'll find unemployment there. Jack says, go to where the crime is. I guarantee you, every dollar I have, that when you go to where the crime is, you will be going to where unemployment is. That 3-syllable word did not come up in the whole hour discussion. They had a whole hour to fix our problems, right? No one talked about unemployment. Not from what I read. I didn't hear the word unemployment come up. Nowhere. I didn't read it nowhere. Hogan says you need longer sentences for gun control. Mandatory minimums. That will solve the 700 plus people shot. Make sure you need 700 more cots in prison. And we got a whole lot. I read them several times to you. We got, like 30 prisons in this little teeny state. One of the smallest states in the country. And you got almost 2 prisons per county. So you need 700 more beds and mandatory sentences for them, and you fix the problem. Fix the problem. That's justice, right? Remember I told you what justice is. They tell you right in front of your face, just us. 90% of felony convictions in Baltimore are from plea deals. Now, do you think your founding fathers of the good US of A had that blueprinted? They want you not to go through the who, what, when, and why, and how of the crime. Just plead it and get it over with. So your cattle herded through the justice system. That's not justice. As of June 2019, officially, Baltimore had 5.6% unemployment. That's a lie. Do you realize that when they do these kind of statistics, that if a brother's out there not looking for a job, they don't count him as being unemployed? I bet you didn't know that. So you can have hordes of people who are unemployed who are not even being counted. Thousands who've already given up. Why? When you have the thousands being housed in prison, as we have, among the highest in the country, and a nation that's the highest in the world of imprisoning people, and there's a certain segment of the population of people who are the most highest of unemployed. Once you come out, do you think you have a job sitting there waiting for you? Really, do you think you have a job? If I get locked up, I ain't never had the same job I got waiting for me. So it's a downward spiral when you use locking up as your first line of defense of bringing down crime. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics, as of August the 24th at 7:52 p.m., says 6% of the blacks in the United States of America were unemployed. The Economic Policy Institute says that this is the lowest percentage since 1972, since that the Bureau was taking this statistic. And even at that low rate, it is still according to them, 2 times higher than that of whites. USA Today says, as on May 6th article of this year, that blacks are 86% higher than the U.S. average of being unemployed. 86%. That's a huge number. Whatever you make right now, if you made 86% more the following week, you will be jumping hoops, cabbage patching, doing whatever dance they got out there. If you had an 86% increase in your salary, that's a high number. And it's 110% higher than unemployment of whites. 110% higher than whites. This is from USA Today this year. 204% higher than that of Asians. When was the last time you seen an Asian brother in the unemployment line? You are 204% more unemployed than Asians. In 2016, the Bureau of Justice Statistics said that 1,609 blacks are imprisoned per 100,000. Put them out in the streets and see how many of them can get a job. That same statistics cited that only 274 whites per 100,000 are in prison. Release all these people from prison, you see unemployment go way up. Those released won't get jobs, and since they're no longer in prison, those who are imprisoning them will not have jobs. Here's a quote from that USA Today article. I didn't write down who wrote the article, but you can look it up. USA Today, May 6, 2019. And the trend, this talking about this unemployment of black people, and the trend shows no sign of changing. There is no set of circumstances under which it is unimaginable that the unemployment rate among black Americans will ever fall to the level of the national average. That's a white man saying that. That is not even imaginable that our conditions of unemployment will ever change. Now, I just read, I didn't tell you where I read that from the book, that same thing. See, that white brother quoted the scriptures. He says, no way our conditions are going to change. Now, let me find, was it verse 23 that I read in that passage that I didn't tell you? I will heap disasters on them. I was talking about us. I will heap disasters on them, which is us. I will spin my arrows on them. That means he's going to use all his arrows on us and have no more left in his quiver. They will be wasted with hunger, devoured by pestilence, bitter destruction. That's what he says about us. The sword will destroy outside, and it's going to destroy inside. That's what he's saying about us. So if y'all is saying that's what he's going to allow to us, can you vote your way out of that? See, that's keeping it real. See, that's coming out of the book. All that garbage you're hearing before this program, all that garbage you're hearing after this program is just that. It's garbage. Because they don't read the book. How are you going to vote for a man who's greater than the one who created the man? So he's going to get you out of these conditions with people giving you a blueprint of handling your problems of failure. Because the answer is in the one who we have spurned. We have spurned him, the Most High. And he says, for Yahweh will judge his people, and that's what we're going through now. We're being judged because we have spurned him. And he says, when he sees that their power is gone. USA Today said, our power is gone. Now, I asked a question last week. Doesn't that sound like institutional racism? That is structured. So if it's structured, you have, I'm hoping that I'm speaking to people who at least have common sense. If it was not structured, if it was not patterned, if it was not blueprinted, if it was not planned, that means, let's say, take one generation next. You will see all the different races of people leveling out. How is it that every generation, you mean the white boy that's growing up now and the black boy that's growing up now, that white boy is just as bad as the ones before, the black boy is just as stupid as the ones before? Can't they both just be equal and grow up and eventually things equal out? Why is it that most likely that white boy is going to do better than that black boy? And then his son's going to do better than that black boy's son, and so forth. And it's going to keep on going down the line. How can that be if we're all equal? Then maybe we are. So in other words, you can say, well, then maybe blacks are just stupid, dumb. Maybe then we're not equal. Because if we're equal, things will equal out. Unless there's a blueprinted pattern structured before the people are born. Am I the only one who thinks? Am I the only one that thinks? But there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because once you have conditions when you are hanging from the ankles over the cliff for your life, then you'll wake up. See, I'm woke right now. Then you'll wake up. And then you acknowledge the Most High who brought you out of the land of Misraim, out of the land of bondage. And you keep crying to go back. We were kings. You stop it. Verse 43 of that passage that I did not tell you where I was reading from says, rejoice, O Gentiles, with his people. The Most High is telling the ones who are structured over you right now to rejoice for us. For he will avenge the blood of his servants and render vengeance to his adversaries. He will provide atonement for his land and his people. When is the Day of Atonement? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? You're waiting for the next day to vote. You will vote for a dead black squirrel over Trump because he's black and because he's not and because he's Democrat. You're stupid. And you don't read the book. Because he says he will deliver you. He will judge. He will provide this for you. Unless you see Yahweh come from the sky and running for office, you're wasting your time voting for anybody. And you're wasting breath and energy talking about how to solve these problems. You know, as a certified occupational therapist, I know how to treat a patient for their neurological conditions. See, if a patient comes to me and they have like a withered hand and he wants his hand to work better because he cannot no longer use it, well, we know that. I'm not going to go and start manipulating and working and doing therapy on his hand. See, I've been trained. I went to school and I got the common sense to know that that's a waste of time. And that's what this world is doing. They're working on what I call the leaves instead of the root. It's just like a tree. If the tree's leaves keep dying or the fruit keep dying, you don't just keep trying to spray the fruit and fix the fruit and all the fruit is dying. You got to look at the root of the tree. And as a therapist, I have to look at the root of the problem of the withered hand. It comes from the spine. Our neurological conditions come from the spine. So I have to work from the spine out. I work from the trunk, the shoulders, the elbow, the wrist. Then I get to the hand. You learn that in school. You work from the trunk, the hip, the knees, the ankle, then to the foot. You work from the inside out. You don't start trying to fix a person's foot when the problem originates from the hip or the spine. You don't go try and talk about gun control and all this waste of words and verbiage talking about gun control. We're not going to the root of the problem of why that black boy has a gun in his hand in the first place. Go to the root. Stop begging like a whore for money. Baltimore, of all places, who's been given hundreds of billions of dollars over the years, where's the benefit? Where's the rise? Are you going to be asking for money for the next 400 years? Clinton alone wrote $100 billion check for you. Drive around Baltimore City and see where it went. Into the ones who call themselves keeping it real. It's in their pockets. You're phony, lying advocates. That's who it's going to. And you're lying preachers who don't preach the truth. Hey, but who's listening? What I got, about 4 or 5 people out there? And you want to know why I'm not giving out the phone number that call here to call in? Because you're going to be calling in wasting my time and not talking about what I'm talking about. I will open these lines up in the future. I want to hear calls talking about dealing with the root. Don't talk to me about the leaves. Don't talk to me about the fruit. Talk about the root of the cause of your conditions and how we can get them better. Because we got enough people whoring around for money, talking about gun control and minimum wage. Again, a waste of talk. Voting, a waste. All that stuff is on the fringes, is on the outside, is on the extremity, is on the end. You need to go to the beginning, to the origination, to the genesis of your issues. The genesis. And that's what I do every week. But who's listening? YahondaFam.week with you here. Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com 443-306-3518. Wake up, Israel. Wake up. 400 years and this is where you are right now. You ain't learned nothing yet. Will you keep on getting in your car, driving to a destination, and keep going the same way and haven't gotten there and keep doing it? You will keep turning the same left, the same right every time and never get there? Or will you go ahead and say, wait a minute, honey, let's stop, pull on the side of the road, and not, I know the map says this way, but obviously we're following the map to the letter, and it keeps getting us the wrong way. So let's go another way. 600 people, 1,000 people in this country. In this city, I cannot be the only one who thinks. I cannot be. I ain't talking about hating nobody. I'm talking about you loving yourself and thinking. You were made to think. You were made to think. I'm going to continue this next week because I want to give you some facts about gun control. I'm going to talk about your leaves, your fruits, instead of the root. I'm going to talk about some gun control facts next week. And we're going to have to get to the root of how to deal with that. And it ain't laws of gun control. Because the numbers I was looking at, everywhere I looked, whenever you had more laws and rules for gun control, crime went up. It went up. And I got a whole lot of data right here showing that. It always went up. Why? Because just like the patient that comes to me just wants me to work on his hand instead of really fixing him. No, leave my back alone. No, leave my shoulder alone. Just fix the hand. Well, I'm the therapist. I'm supposed to know. Well, here's a man of y'all telling you how to handle your conditions. Don't call here talking about no leaves. Talk about the root. Look for that verse. Look for it. Look for what I read from the beginning of the show. Look for it. And I'll go ahead and field some calls next week, and we'll talk about some of the answers to these things that Hogan, Young, and Harrison didn't give you. Y'all found that with you here. Y'all for Christians at gmail.com 443-306-3518. Hallelujah.